become one of the most critically acclaimed shows on television, getting more than 40 Emmy nominations in its first 2 years on the air. And the Emmy for Best Actor in a Drama Series for 2 years in a row has gone to Precinct Captain Francis Perillo. Daniel J. Travanti.
Captain, sir, don't you think you might be overreacting just a little bit?
Overreacting? I'm in perfectly good humor. I'm always in good humor when the sheriff's department phones me at 1:30 in the morning. I'm always in good humor when one of my men demeans the badge. That's all, Renko.
My name is Daniele Giovanni Travanti, alias Francis Xavier Furillo.
Excuse me, Francis.
What?
Wanted me to remind you about a 10:30 appointment with Faye down at Frank Jr. School.
Fine, great. To know that the American public wants quality, the kind of quality that we have to offer. I'm grateful to all of you. Bless you all. Thank you.
You're jealous.
Yeah.
He was married.
On camera, Captain Francis Perillo married Counselor Joyce Davenport this year. There were publicity rumors of an off-camera romance, too. While Travanti, a bachelor, is exceedingly open about much of his life, when it comes to questions about romance, he becomes guarded and silent.
I'm not going to do anything until I talk it over with you first, Pizza Man.
Travanti lives in a small house in Santa Monica, California. It is filled with Italian contemporary furniture, all part of his newfound success that was a long time coming. The son of Italian immigrants, he was an outstanding student, graduated from college in 3 years, got a fellowship to Yale Drama School, and then came to Hollywood. He was working and successful, but he didn't become a star. He made guest appearances on more than 50 television shows, everything from Gunsmoke to Bob Newhart. But then his career fell totally apart. It was 10 years ago this summer that Travanti, in despair and desperation, found a new program for living, and then success found him. So now you're there.
Where?
You're a success. You know, top of the ladder.
I'm sort of believing it.
Do you believe it? Do you trust it?
No, I don't trust it. I keep imagining this paper wall of obscurity. I was a well-known unknown for a long time. I kept admiring other well-known unknowns and saying to myself, why aren't they doing something for those people? Why aren't they getting something for her? She's terrific. Don't they know she's terrific? And it gave me comfort because I would say, well, if they can ignore her and they can ignore him, I shouldn't feel so bad. Then when I crashed through that paper wall, I said, I think I believe this, but they're doing it wrong. They're calling me sexy.
Why do you get red? You got
Yes,
red.
that's right. As red as that. Right. I still, because it wasn't at all what I had in mind. I think maybe psychologically the reason I blush is because I really, really, really wanted that, but I never had the gall to really dwell on it seriously, certainly not to mention it to anybody. The one thing I did trust and still do trust is my ability. I'm feeling as if I'm a member of the entire family of the world, and I like it very much.
You finally belong.
Yeah.
If it's not too much of a...
Yeah. But
cliché.
it's a kind of exorbitant, extravagant way to arrive at belonging. You know, how far do you have to go just to belong? Some people just belong, feel fine. They're perfectly okay.
Why the feeling of alienation? What were you like as a kid?
Hidden, private, secretive.
Your mother died when you were 10.
Yeah.
It must have been.
Oh, sure. Well, psychologically, I could write a very pat casebook for you. I was the fifth and unwanted. Somebody said just last night, how did you know that? I said, because they told me. They made a point of telling me. I don't think cruelly, just family talk. This one happened, and Emma was born, and then Laura was born, and then when Ange, and then Laura, and Bob, and then, and you weren't wanted, and the midwife delivered you, and there was no name. And she said, well, what is it? And I said, it's a boy. And she said, well, what do we call it? And I was named after the midwife's son. Said, I have a boy named Daniel. And she said, fine. My mother did. And the middle name is John, which is my father's name. So I contend that I have been justifying my existence for that whole time. Driven. I've always been driven. People have always said that. If I have energy for 6, I mean, I'm held down here.
We almost did the interview running.
Hey.
But I couldn't.
Oh, yeah, nobody can walk with me. That's still a running gag. When I was a kid, they'd say, what's the matter? Ashamed to be seen with us? And now they say the same thing. They say, hey, Travanti, where are you going? I said, I don't know. I used to think, you're just nuts. You're crazy and crazed. I was an overachiever, mad overachiever. As I said before, to go this far just to feel part of is ridiculous. Yes.
When you were in the theater in the early days, you were a good actor, you were getting the parts, people thought well of you. And around that time, you began to drink and drink.
Yeah, I thought I was drinking myself to sleep. When I told my sober friends later on, they smiled or smirked or laughed, or all three. Said, big dummy, you were passing on and coming too.
How long were you drinking?
Really regularly from Yale School of Drama. That I know for sure because I had a mattress on the floor and a bottle next to the mattress. So every night I was out. It was my medicine.
So from the time you were about 20...
21, yeah.
One day, in 1973, you were on the stage in a play called Twigs, out of town.
Indianapolis.
And?
Monday night we went on, and I had been making my entrance with total ease, I promise you, through the whole run. The last time I had experienced any kind of stage nerves had been in summer stock, and I couldn't account for it then, and it had come and gone that fast. But that night, when Seda opened the door...
Seda Thompson,
yes,
who was the star.
Yes, entered up center, holding a box, the kitchen set. I shook. I just said, my mind said, but I shook. And then I shook again. And that thing that happens in bad movies, B-movies, was happening. She say her line? She said her line. Well, say your line. And I said my line. By that time I was petrified because I was right close to the footlights, and so I felt more nervous than I probably was. She walks over to my left, and it was at that moment, finally, she turns to me and says, darling, what's wrong? And I said, I don't know. Put the glass down and turned to the audience and said, sorry, folks. And my knees were buckling. I didn't fall. She stepped forward and rang down the curtain. Said, ladies and gentlemen, would you excuse us, please? And they pulled down the curtain, and we went into the wings, and I just cried. What happened was that I was having a breakdown. A simple, classic, nervous breakdown.
How did you get from that to this guy sitting here talking about it?
Grace. Do you know what grace is? It's an unmerited gift from God. Can't be earned, can't be paid, can't be repaid, and you cannot deserve it.
As I understand it, you had two friends who came to you and really tricked you into seeking help.
They knew that they couldn't just approach me openly because I would have spit in their eye.
I don't need that. I'm fine.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. I thought I knew it all. I thought I was fine. I thought I was in control. Made no connection whatsoever. Within days, I've forgotten exactly. They were all saying, let's go to a meeting. I went to the meeting, and that night, the light went on. I can't tell you what I heard, but I did hear, you're an alcoholic.
And how long did you
I've
go to
had it
this
since.
organization?
Oh, till I die.
You still go?
Till I die. Sure, it's like breathing.
Are you afraid that you might one day drink again?
No, I'm not afraid of it, but I do know that it's always a possibility. But as long as I do what makes me okay in here and in here, and I have a whole program of living to accomplish that, principles I practice in all my affairs.
What?
The 12 steps of survival, which is what we live by.
What?
Well, I could give you the litany. As a matter of fact, they're burned into my brain.
Say
I
them.
don't.
Boom, boom, boom.
I've never done this on camera. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed, became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. I didn't set out to memorize those. It's just after hundreds of times, thousands by now, of hearing it.
Captain Furillo is a reformed alcoholic, the part you play in Hill Street Blues. Was that written in for you, or was it just a coincidence?
No, it was
You wanted it.
our writers. No.
Oh, you didn't
Oh,
want it.
no. I had nothing to do with it. No, I'd take credit. I would,
Yeah.
in a second. No, that was the notion of, I believe specifically it was Stevens, our creator, executive producer.
You are not very much like Captain Furillo.
I have his qualities somewhere in here. No, overall, no.
Yeah.
No, that's acting. That's a character.
So here you are, at this point in your life, and it's all working.
Mm.
Is it fun?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Yeah.
What's the most fun?
The great relief in knowing that what I'm doing is appreciated and that I am at full power of expression. That was a great frustration to me for many years. My biggest fear really in the career was that I wouldn't get up to bat. Not that I couldn't hit the ball, not that I couldn't run the bases, but that I wouldn't get up. And then it won't be enough. It'll never be enough. You know, how much is enough? I don't know. How much attention, how much love, how much success, how many awards are enough? At the moment, I really feel, this is also part of the fun, I really feel the relief of feeling that it's enough.